Hello students, yesterday we have seen the MCQs from JEE examinations previous papers. Today also we are going to see more questions, and today we are going to conclude this topic. So, let us see the first question here. It is given that a function is continuous and f of 9 by 2 is equals to 2 by 9 is given, and we have to find limit of f of 1 minus cos 3 x upon x square. For this we know that limit of f of g of x is equal to f of limit of g of x, that is limit of a composite function. This is the formula, limit of f of g of x is equal to f of limit of g of x. So, to find the limit of this function we have to use this result. So, we have here limit of f of in bracket 1 minus cos 3 x divided by x square as x tends to 0. Okay, so, using that theorem of limit of composite function, I can write this is equals to f of in bracket, I can write this as f can be taken outside, f of in bracket limit of 1 minus cos 3 x upon x square x tends to 0, isn't it? And we have the formula for finding this limit. We can find the limit of the function inside the bracket using a corollary. We have seen that corollary, that is limit of 1 minus cos of k x upon x square x tends to 0 is equal to k square by 2. We have this corollary, it is equal to k square by 2, and in the present problem k is nothing but 3. So, it will be 3 square by 2 means 9 by 2, and so what I am getting f of 9 by 2, it is given in the question f of 9 by 2 equal to 2 by 9, f of 9 by 2 equal to 2 by 9. So, this is your answer. आपल्याला हेच विचारलं होतं लिमिट काढा म्हणून. Okay, hope you got that. Let us see now the second question. It is given that a function which is defined as f of x equals to under root of 2 plus cos x minus 1 upon pi minus x whole square, where x is not equals to pi and it is equals to k for x equals to pi, is continuous at x equals to pi, and we have to find the value of k. If a function is continuous, then we know that limit of the function and value of the function are same. That means, in this case limit of x tends to limit of f of x tends to pi is equals to f of pi. So, let us first find the limit of f of x tends to pi. It is equals to limit of the given function. I am rationalizing directly the numerator. I have rationalized. After rationalization, I will get 2 plus cos x minus 1 in the numerator divided by pi minus x whole square into under root of 2 plus cos x plus 1. This is the conjugate of numerator which I have written in the denominator. Now, the numerator becomes 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 is there and minus 1 is there, 2 minus 1 is 1 plus cos x, and that complete divided by the denominator as it is, which is pi minus x whole square into bracket under root of 2 plus cos x plus 1. Okay. Now, you can observe that this second term which I am writing here under root of 2 plus cos x plus 1, if I put x equals to pi in this term, then it is non-vanishing. Means if I put x equals to pi, it will become 2 plus cos pi, means 2 plus minus 1, that is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2, means the denominator is non-vanishing there. That means I can find the limit of that term by using the direct substitution. Okay. So, that I will express this required limit as the product of two limits separately, one which will contain a 0 by 0 form and another in which I can find the direct limit. Okay. So, let us write this is equals to, I am now writing these two terms separately, one which contains 0 by 0 form and another which can be directly calculated. So, this is equals to limit as x tends to pi of 1 plus cos x divided by pi minus x whole square into, I will find now the limit of second term directly, limit of 1 upon under root of 2 plus cos x plus 1 as x tends to pi. Okay. So, the second limit can be directly obtained because the denominator is non-vanishing. And to find the first limit, observe that the denominator is becoming 0 and the numerator is also becoming 0. The denominator and numerator both become 0. That means I can use the L'Hopital's rule there. So for L'Hopital's rule, I have to differentiate the numerator and denominator separately. लक्षात येतं मी काय म्हणतोय ते. तर दुसरा जो लिमिट आहे ना, त्यामध्ये आपण x च्या जागी पाय डायरेक्ट ठेवू शकतो कारण त्याचा डिनॉमिनेटर नॉन झिरो आहे आणि पहिल्या लिमिटमध्ये डिनॉमिनेटर 0 आहे, त्याचबरोबर न्यूमरेटर सुद्धा 0 आहे. सो I should use the L'Hopital's rule. Means I had to differentiate. मग वरच्याला डिफरन्शिएट केला 1 चा 0 cos चा मायनस साइन अपॉन डिनॉमिनेटर मध्ये तो पॉवर आहे, तो पॉवर विल गो इन मल्टिप्लिकेशन 2 using the chain rule. 2 into pi minus x raised to 1 into पुन्हा pi minus x चा मायनस 1. आणि सेकंड लिमिट जे आहे ते तुम्ही डायरेक्ट काढू शकता म्हणून राइट ॲज इट इज. आय एम पुटिंग द व्हॅल्यू देअर. 2 प्लस x इज पाय देअर, सो 2 प्लस cos पाय ठेवून दिला. अगेन द डिनॉमिनेटर इज व्हॅनिशिंग. या पहिल्या लिमिट मध्ये पुन्हा छेद 0 होतोय अँड सो वन्स अगेन आय शुड यूज द L'Hopital's rule. मग वरच्याचा आणि खालच्याचा परत एकदा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह घ्या. sin x चा डेरिव्हेटिव्ह cos x, 2 ॲज इट इज, पायचा 0 आणि मायनस x चा मायनस 1 आणि दुसऱ्याचं लिमिट डायरेक्टली cos पाय मायनस 1 असतो. आय कॅन पुट द व्हॅल्यू अंडर रूट ऑफ 2 मायनस 1. म्हणजे cos पाय किती येतो, मायनस 1 येतो, तिथे लिहूया आपण पुढच्या स्टेपमध्ये. And now in the first limit also I can now directly put the value of x which is pi there. So you will get cos pi divided by minus 2 and into 1 upon under root of 2 minus 1 plus 1. So that will give me minus 1 upon minus 2 into that sum comes to be again 2. So the answer is minus minus plus 1 by 4 is the limit, and that is nothing but your value of the function. Limit of the function and value of the function are same, so k is equals to 1 by 4 is the answer in this question. Okay, we got that. Let us see now the next question, the third one. It is simple and again same, we have to find the value of k if the given function is continuous at x equal to 0. If a function is continuous at x equal to 0, then we know that limit of the function and the value of the function, that is limit of f of x extends to 0 is equal to f of 0 if a function is continuous. So let us find the limit of this function. समजतं ना की फंक्शन जर x इक्वल टू 0 ला कंटिन्यूअस असेल तर त्या फंक्शनचं लिमिट आणि त्या फंक्शनची व्हॅल्यू ही सेम असते. सो वी विल फर्स्ट फाइंड द लिमिट ऑफ दिस फंक्शन and then equate it with the value which is given to be 12 here. So let us find the limit. We have limit of f of x tends to 0 is equals to काय पहा, this is equals to limit. आता जो फंक्शन आहे तो लिहाल in the numerator it is e raised. आता आपण डायरेक्टली पाहूया की पहिल्या डिनॉमिनेटर मध्ये मला x लागतो आणि दुसऱ्याला पण x लागतो. मीन्स I should divide by x square. So divide the numerator and denominator by x square. वर खाली x square ने भाग द्या. So I have divided the numerator by x square. Do the same in the denominator. I will write this denominator as sin of, हा जो angle आहे ना त्याला आपण काय करूया, 1 by k into x लिहूया. x by k can be written as 1 by k into x. So I have written that into log of 1 plus 1 by 4 into x. X by 4 can be written as 1 by 4 into x. Okay, again divide by x. So in the denominator I divided by x square and in the numerator also I divided by x square. Now let us find the limit of each term. The numerator limit is log e means 1, its a square is there, and in the denominator the first limit is obtained by using sin mx upon x, which is m means 1 by 4, and the second is also log of 1 plus kx upon x, its limit is k means 1 by 4. Limit of log of 1 plus kx upon x is known to you. It is k, means in this problem it is 1 by 4. This 4k will go in the numerator and you will get the limit as 4k. Okay, so this is the limit and value is given to be 12. So limit of the function and value of the function are same as the function is a continuous at x equals to 0. So I got 4k equals to 12. That means k equal to 3 is the correct answer given in option C. Okay, We got this simple solution. All these are very easy questions and this can be asked in CET as well as JEE examinations. Let us see now the next example. A function is given f of x equals to 1 minus tan x upon 4x minus pi at x not equals to pi by 4, and x belong to the closed interval 0 comma pi by 2, and it is given that it is continuous in the closed interval 0 comma pi by 2, and we have to find the value of f of pi by 4. The function is continuous in the interval, that means it is continuous at each of its points. The function is continuous in the interval, that means that it is continuous at each of points, that means it is continuous at pi by 4 also. And if a function is continuous at pi by 4, then limit of f of x extends to pi by 4 equal to f of pi by 4, which I need here. So this is equals to limit of 1 minus tan x upon 4x minus pi x tends to pi by 4. You can observe that the denominator becomes 0 and the numerator, if you put the value of x to be pi by 4, you do it yourself, both become 0, and so I can use the L'Hopital's rule. And for L'Hopital's rule, differentiate the numerator and denominator separately. The derivative of 1 is a 0 minus the derivative of tan x is sec square x divided by the derivative of 4x किती आहे 4 minus the derivative of pi is a 0. Okay, now put the value of x to be pi by 4. x च्या जागी pi by 4 ठेवा आणि पहा काय मिळेल ते. It is equals to minus sec square pi by 4 divided by 4. sec pi by 4 किती आहे root 2 आहे आणि त्याचा स्क्वेअर आहे तिथे. sec pi by 4 is root 2 and its square is there. root 2 square is 2 by 4 means 1 by 2. So we got the limit to be minus 1 by 2. Okay, and limit of f of x tends to pi by 4 is nothing but f of pi by 4 because the function is continuous. So the answer is minus 1 by 2. Let us move further. See this function. If the function f of x is given to be 1 plus sine of pi x by 2, where minus infinity less than x less than or equals to 1, it is equals to ax plus b for 1 less than x less than 3, and it is equal to 6 into tan of pi x by 12 for 3 less than or equal to x less than 6. Is continuous in the interval minus infinity comma 6, then we have to find the values of a and b. We know that if a function is continuous in the interval, then it is continuous at each points of its domain, and therefore it is continuous at 1 and at x equal to 3 also. Why we are taking x equal to 1 and x equals to 3 only? Because at x equals to 1 we can find the left hand limit and right hand limit, and x equals to 3 also we can find the left hand limit and right hand limit, and therefore we use the continuity at x equal to 1 and at x equals to 3. We know that if a function is continuous at x equals to 1, then limit of f of x tends to 1 from left side is equal to limit of f of x tends to 1 from right side, and it is also equal to f of 1. I just need the two terms for an equation in a and b. I just need the two terms, means I will not use that f of 1. Only I will use the left hand limit and right hand limit to get an equation in a and b. To find the values of a and b, I need two equations in a and b. One can be obtained using the continuity at x equals to 1, and another can be obtained using the continuity at x equals to 3. Okay, so let us find first the left hand limit as x tends to 1. First one is the formula for left hand limit, and by putting x tends to 1 there directly, I will get 1 plus sine of pi by 2. And the right hand limit can be obtained by using the second function, and it is given by a into 1 means a plus b. So I got here a plus b equal to 2 sine pi by 2. The value of sine pi by 2 is 2. Sine pi by 2 is 1. So you are getting a plus b equals to 1 plus 1, which is 2. So this is your first equation. In the same way, we can find the limit at x tends to 3 from left side and from the right side. Okay, so let us now use the continuity at x equals to 3 and obtain one more equation in a and b. Okay, So let us see now limit of f of x tends to 3 from left side and x tends to 3 from right side. So what happens if I take x tends to 3 from left side? It will become 3a plus b. And you can directly put x equal to 3 there in the left side limit and also in the right side limit. Okay. So what happens to the left hand limit? It is a into 3. X tends to 3 from left side means the second formula is there. A into 3 means 3a plus b equal to the right side limit. It is 6 into tan of pi into 3 by 12 means 1 by 4. So it will be pi by 4 and that gives me 3a plus b equal to 6. So we got this, and solving these two equations you can obtain, or you can check the options also. You can check the options, means if you put a and b there, the first equation is satisfied by option A, option B, option C. Okay, but the second equation is satisfied only by option C. You can observe that if you put a to be 2 and b to be 0, C satisfies the second equation, means the answer is option C. We got this. Let us see now the next example. For each t belongs to R, let this bracket t denotes the greatest integer less than or equals to t, and we have to find limit of x into bracket the greatest integer 1 by x plus greatest integer less than or equals to 2 by x plus and so on up to bracket 15 by x as x tends to 0 from positive side. First of all, we should know the definition of greatest integer function. It is defined like this: greatest integer x is equals to x minus the fractional part. Means from the given number, if we subtract the fractional part, then we will get the value of the greatest integer function. Okay, so if x is positive, for x to be positive, this is the formula: bracket x is equals to x minus the fractional part. This curly bracket x denotes the fractional part. So for example, if I have to find the greatest integer less than or equals to 2.3, what we do, from the number 2.3 we subtract the fractional part, that is 0.3, and that will give me 2. Means the greatest integer less than or equals to 2.3 is 2. So immediately just before you have to write the integer. So if itself is an integer, then the value is same. For example, the greatest integer less than or equals to 2 is 2 itself. Okay, so let us see now the solution to this question. We have to find the limit. Okay, so this is now equals to, let limit of x tends to 0 from positive side we have to calculate here. Okay, x tends to 0 from positive side of x in bracket. So this is the greatest integer function 1 by x plus the greatest integer function of 2 by x and the terms of this kind plus and so on in bracket 15 by x. Okay, we got this. Now we will use the definition of that greatest integer function. Bracket x is equals to x minus the fractional part. Using the definition, I can express each term as the difference of the given number and its fractional part. So if we subtract the fractional part from a given number, then we get the greatest integer value. Okay, so this is equals to, I can write limit as x tends to 0 from positive side, that x as it is, limit as x tends to 0 from positive side of x into bracket, I will write using the definition as 1 by x minus the fractional part, which from the given number 1 by x we subtract its fractional part. We are using this curly bracket for writing the fractional part of 1 by x. In some cases it is the parentheses are also used to represent the fractional part. Okay, similarly plus 2 by x minus the fractional part of 2 by x. Okay, continuing like this, plus and so on, the last term will be same, plus and so on 15 by x minus the fractional part of 15 by x. Is that clear? Now I will collect the like terms together, means I will collect the numbers 1 by x, 2 by x and likewise 15 by x in one bracket and the fractional parts in another bracket. We are getting this. Okay, so 1 by x plus 2 by x and continuing like this, the last term is 15 by x minus, I will take minus common from all other terms, minus x into, again that x is in multiplication, x into bracket the fractional parts now 1 by x plus the fractional part of 2 by x and continuing like this the fractional part of 15 by x. Okay. Now from the first bracket, this is fractional part of 15 by x. Now from the first bracket you can take 1 by x outside or you can multiply by x into that bracket, so that x in multiplication and x in denominator will get cancelled in the first part, in the first bracket. If I multiply by x inside the bracket, then we will be getting there only 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on up to 15, isn't it? So just now it is needed to find the separate limits. We know that limit of sum is equal to sum of their limits, means we have to find the limit of first bracket separately and the limit of second bracket separately, because both they exist independently. So now we will find the separate limits by multiplying. So in first bracket I will be getting 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 15. If I multiply inside the bracket by x, I will get inside the bracket 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on up to 15, and that can be added using the formula for sum of first n natural numbers. Okay, and then in second bracket what remains there, x is tending towards 0 and all other terms are the fractional parts of the given numbers. They are the fractional parts, means that bracketed quantity is definitely a finite term. Hope you are getting what I am saying. The in second limit the bracketed quantity is finite quantity into x, and x is tending to 0. X is tending to 0 means it will become 0, means the second term will become 0, and you will get only the limits in the first bracket, that is 1 plus 2 plus up to 15, and that can be added to give you 120 as the correct answer. Let us see this next question. Let us see this next question. F of x is equals to sine of in bracket 1 plus bracket x. Once again the greatest integer function is there. Bracket x denote the greatest integer less than or equals to x, and we have to find the limit of f of x. X tends to 0 from negative side. Now x is tending to 0 from negative side, that means x is very close to 0 and it is negative. Remember that x is here, we have to find limit of f of x. x tends to 0 from left side, डाव्या बाजूने आपल्याला पाहिजे. तर जर x tends to 0 from left side असेल, याचा अर्थ तो x less than 0 आहे, that means x is negative, and as it is tending towards 0, it is very close to 0, isn't it? Means definitely it will lie in between -1 to 0. And if I find the greatest integer value of such terms which are tending towards 0 and which are very close to 0, it will be -1. For example, if I take any number between -1 to 0, say for -0.1, then what will be its greatest integer value? It will be -1. So let us find the limit. X tends to 0 from left side of the x tends to 0 from left side. It means I just told you that x is negative and x is very close to 0. In particular, if I take x to be -0.1 or -0.01, then its bracket value will be -1. Another integer less than the greatest integer less than -0.1. What is that? It is -1. The greatest integer less than -0.01, it is also -1. Hope you are getting what I am saying. Means if x is tending towards 0 from left side, it is close to 0 and it is negative, so its greatest integer value will be -1 always, will be -1 always. So in this problem, as x is tending towards 0 from left side, I can take the value of bracket x is tending towards minus 1. I can say that the greatest integer value is tending towards minus 1. Okay. So let us write this. X tends to 0 from left side means bracket x tends to minus 1. X tends to 0 from left side means bracket x tends to minus 1. Okay. So this is equals to, I can write now sine of in bracket 1 plus bracket x. We have to find this complete divided by the bracket x. I am calling this bracket x as the greatest integer function. Now as discussed above, I can write this is sine of in bracket 1 plus minus 1, that is 1 minus 1, divided by the value of the bracket x is now minus 1. As I am finding, I have taken the limit, so I should not write that limit notation. So sine 0 upon minus 1 is 0. That means the limit is 0. Limit of that function is 0. Okay, hope you got this. Let us see now the more examples. See this one. F is a composite function of x defined by f of u is given 1 upon u square plus u minus 2 and u of x is 1 upon x minus 1, and we have to find the number of points of discontinuity, then the number of points x where f is discontinuous. We have to find the values of x for which this composite function f, which is a function of u first and then u is a function of x, is a discontinuous. We have to find the number of points or the number of values of x for which f of x is discontinuous. So you can observe that f of u is a rational function and u of x is also a rational function. So I should check the denominator u square plus u minus 2. F of u is equals to 1 upon u square plus u minus 2. U square plus u minus 2 is there, sorry, and find its factors. Means you have to find where the denominator becomes 0. It is minus 2. The factors are u plus 2 and u minus 1. Okay. So these becomes 0, means the denominator becomes 0 when u equals to minus 2 and u equals to plus 1. That means at these values of u equals to minus 2 and u equals to 1, this function will be discontinuous. But we are interested in the values of x. Remember that we have to find the number of points x where function is discontinuous. So here we have calculated the values of u at which f is discontinuous, from which I can get the values of x, ज्यावरून मला x च्या किमती काढता येतील. Okay, so I can take u equals to minus 2 and using the formula for u of x, I can find the corresponding values of x. So let us put now this value of u to be minus 2 and later on u to be 1 in the given formula for u and obtain the here is the given formula. U of x is equals to 1 upon x minus 1 is the given formula. So when u is equals to minus 2, the formula is u is equals to 1 upon x minus 1. Now put u to be minus 2. So what you get there, if I put u equals to minus 2, this equation will give me minus 2 is equals to 1 upon x minus 1. Solve this and get the value of x. Yala solve kara. So it is x minus 1 equal to minus 1 by 2. If I take that minus 1 to right side, it will become 1 minus 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2. Means at x equals to 1 by 2, that is discontinuous. Means when u is minus 2, I have calculated x using the formula for u and that comes to be 1 by 2. Now let us find the second value of x. When u equals to 1, I should find, it is not needed. While solving a question from JEE, you have to just find the number of points. So clearly it is 3. So just I am giving this solution. If it is asked actual points, then you have to solve these further cases. Otherwise, if it is asked to find only the number of points, then you can direct write. Now see, let us see. When u equals to 1 and put it in the formula for u, you will get like this, and that is x minus 1 is equals to 1 and it will give me x equals to 2. That is the another value of x at which the function is discontinuous. One more value is there, कारण u of x हा पण ratio आहे बघा, and its denominator becomes 0 at x equals to 1. u ऑफ x चा जो डिनॉमिनेटर आहे जो की x मायनस 1 आहे तो x इक्वल टू 1 ला 0 होतोय. That means x equal to 1 is the another point of discontinuity. So in all there are 3 points of discontinuity. One is x equals to 1, then x equals to 2, and x equals to 1 by 2. Means at these 3 points the function is a discontinuous. This u of x also discontinuous at x equals to 1. Means at x equals to 1 its denominator becomes 0. That means it doesn't exist, and if it doesn't exist then there is the discontinuity. Okay, so there are 3 points, 1, 2 and 1 by 2 are the 3 points of discontinuity of this function. Okay, hope you got this simple solution. If it is asked to find actual values, then you have to perform all these calculations. Otherwise you can just observe that f of u becomes discontinuous at 2 points, and u also becomes discontinuous at 1 point, and therefore in all 3 points of discontinuity are. Means you can just solve in 5 seconds only. Now let us see the next and last question from this chapter. We have given, this was asked in JEE examination. I think it was asked in 2018. You can check it from the question papers. If f of x is given to be minus 1 plus mod of x minus 2 and g of x is 1 minus mod of x, then we have to find the set of all points where f4g is discontinuous. So before checking the continuity or discontinuity, we have to find the composite function f4g. पहिल्यांदा आपल्याला f4g हे फंक्शन फाइंड करून घ्यावं लागेल आणि मग त्यावरून आपल्याला डिस्कंटिन्यूटी चेक करता येईल. Okay, so see now the composite first. We know f4g means f4g of x is nothing but f of g of x. So by using the concepts from functions, we will find the f4g. Okay, आपल्याला फक्त points of discontinuity काढायचे. So let us find f4g of x is equals to f of in bracket g of x. Okay, f of, now g of x is known to you, it is 1 minus mod x. Now let us call this bracketed term, that is 1 minus mod x, to be something, say y. For further calculations, if I call it as y, then f of y can be obtained using the formula. It is minus 1 plus mod of y, means now it is 1 minus mod x, then minus 2. Okay, simplify this, is equals to, it is simple. I am using the formula for f of x for finding f of 1 minus mod x. If you call it is y, then f of y will be minus 1 plus mod of y minus 2, and then I substituted back the value of y there. Okay, so that is, I am not writing y, I am just calling it y and writing it the actual value. So this is equals to minus 1 plus mod of 1 minus 2 is minus 1 minus mod x. This is equals to, further, now we know the values of mod x. Now I will not simplify further, I will go to the limits now. Mod x, we know the definition. Mod x is x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and it is equals to minus x if x is less than 0. So using this, I will find now the limit of function f of g as x tends to 0 from left side and from right side. To find the limit at x equals to 0, we will first find limit as x tends to 0 from left side. So for left side, you should know that mod x is minus x. Okay, for x to be less than 0, we should know the definition of modulus function, that mod x is minus x. So this becomes minus 1 plus mod of minus 1 minus, now mod x is minus x. Mod x काय आहे, x जर लेस दॅन 0 असेल तर mod x काय असतो, minus x. Okay, So this is equals to, further simplify this, याला पुढे सोडवायचं आहे आपल्याला. लक्षात ठेवा की सध्याला आपण x टेंड्स टू 0 फ्रॉम लेफ्ट साइड घेतोय, म्हणजे x लेस दॅन 0 आहे. दिस इज इक्वल्स टू लिमिट ॲज x टेंड्स टू 0 फ्रॉम लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ इन ब्रॅकेट -1 प्लस mod of -1 plus x. Now x is tending to 0 from left side, means x is negative, and so that -1 plus x is also negative, and the modulus of a negative term is a positive quantity, and so to make it positive I should multiply by -1, isn't that -1 plus x is negative term, and if I take its mod it becomes positive. To make that negative quantity to be positive, we have to multiply by -1, isn't it? So this is equals to limit as x tends to 0 from left side of in bracket -1. आता याचं मला मॉड काढायचं, म्हणजे त्याला पॉझिटिव्ह, सध्या ते निगेटिव्ह आहे, मग पॉझिटिव्ह करायचं त्याला मायनसने मल्टिप्लाय करा, सो दॅट मायनस मायनस विल बिकम प्लस अँड x will become -x. So that -1 plus 1 cancels, only remains -x inside the bracket, and as x tends to 0, its limit is 0. In the similar way, we have to find the right hand limit as x tends to 0. Here we have calculated the left hand limit, and now I need to calculate the right hand limit of the same function. I'm checking the continuity of this function as x tends to 0 from right side. Okay, so let us now find the limit of FOG. I have taken this FOG here, and let us find the limit of this FOG as x tends to 0 from right side. आता आपल्याला हा आपला FOG आहे, हा आपला FOG आहे, आणि याचं x tends to 0 from right side लिमिट आपल्याला फाइंड करायचं आहे. आता x tends to 0 from right side याचा अर्थ तुम्हाला माहित आहे, it is x is greater than 0, and if x is greater than 0, then you know that mod x is plus x. So let us see now this function here, -1 as it is, plus mod of -1 minus, now the value of mod x is x because x is greater than 0. x greater than 0 असल्यामुळे mod x हा काय असणार आहे, या ठिकाणी x असणार आहे. Now once again the term inside the modulus, that is -1 minus x, is a negative quantity, and so to find its mod again I have to multiply by, it is negative quantity कारण -1 आणि minus x, x जरी निगेटिव्ह असला तर तो स्मॉल आहे, it is close to 0, and so -1 minus x is again a negative quantity, so to take its mod I should multiply by -1, that is -1 multiplying by -1 I'll get +1 plus x. -1 plus 1 get cancels, and again I'm getting the limit to be 0. So we got the left hand limit of that FOGX as x tends to 0 from left side and from right side are same. Also I can check FOG of 0, means if I put x equals to 0 in the formula for FOG, again I will get this is equals to -1 plus 1, which is 0. So the left hand limit, the right hand limit, and the value of the function FOG at x equals to 0 are same, and therefore this function FOG is continuous at x equal to 0. Now in options A, B and C there is 0, so one of them may be the answer. Surely D is not the answer. Surely D is not the answer because 0 is definitely a point of discontinuity. Now let us find the discontinuity at 1, because in option A there is 2 and option B is also 2, option B also contains 2. It means that if I check the continuity at 1 and if I get it is continuous at 1, then B will be the answer, and if I get it is not continuous at 1, then A will be the answer. So you should be very smart enough here, means while checking or while using the trial method you have to follow the path by which we can get the answer in shorter time easily. Okay, so now we will find the limit of this FOG of x as x tends to 1 from left side and as x tends to 1 from right side, and then if they are same we will say that it is continuous at 1. Okay, so let us see now. as above, I will follow the same steps here. I am giving the detailed solution as this is new to you. Okay, so minus 1 plus the x is tending towards 1 from positive side means surely it is greater than 1 and it is a positive quantity. लक्षात घ्या x हा positive आहे. So minus 1 minus mod x is now x because x is positive, so I can write mod x to be x. x या ठिकाणी 1 कडे उजव्या बाजूने जातोय त्यामुळे mod x हा नक्की पॉझिटिव्ह आहे, so it will be this one. Okay, so now लक्षात घ्या x is greater than 1. हा x हा कसा 1 पेक्षा मोठा आहे त्यामुळे तो पॉझिटिव्ह आहे. So this is equals to limit as x tends to 1 from positive side of in bracket. आता तो मॉड मध्ये जो टर्म आहे ना हा -1 मायनस अ ग्रेटर टर्म फ्रॉम 1 म्हणजे 1 पेक्षा मोठी असणारी x कसा 1 पेक्षा मोठा आहे. x हा 1 पेक्षा मोठा आहे म्हणजे -1 minus a number greater than 1 है ना. It is definitely a negative quantity and to take its mod I should again multiply by -1. Okay, now as x tends to 1 this limit comes to be 1. As x tends to 1 from right side this limit comes to be +1. Okay, now similarly we will find limit of f(g) of x as x tends to 1 from left side. So f(g) of x as x tends to 1 from left side is equals to limit as x tends to 1. आता x is less than 1 but still it is positive. Tends to 1 means it is close to 1. Even though it is to the left side of 1, it is approaching towards 1 means it is close to 1, means still it is positive, means in this case also I should take that mod x value to be x only, mod x to be x. तो जो मॉड मध्ये आहे -1 मायनस तो जो mod x आहे पुढे तो x च असेल या ठिकाणी सुद्धा कारण x हा पॉझिटिव्ह आहे. टेंड्स टू 1 फ्रॉम लेफ्ट साइड जरी असला तर तो 1 च्या जवळ आहे, पॉझिटिव्ह साइडलाच आहे तो. सो आय कॅन राइट लाइक दिस. Okay, again that modulus term is a negative quantity. -1 minus x is positive म्हणजे दोन्ही पॉझिटिव्ह आहेत and both have minus sign. -1 and minus some positive number is there, so it is negative, and to take its modulus I should multiply by -1 and I will get this. So once again I got the right hand limit to be +1, left hand limit to be +1, and similarly you can go for f(g) of 1 and that also comes to be +1. You can just check it. So by putting these values I can get that it is also +1. You just put that value of x to be 1 in the formula for f(g) which we have calculated at beginning. So again I am getting +1 as the value of f(g) and the function becomes continuous at x equals to 1. Okay, means I got the function to be continuous at 0, 1, and then by observing the options I can say that the function is continuous at 0, 1, and from the options we can surely write B is the correct answer because 1 is not there in option A, not in C, and also D is already